MMTLP is trending yet again on Twitter with over 10,000 posts in just a few hours. So what's the latest update? Sit tight as we go through recent news as well as my chart analysis and price prediction. But before we do that, subscribe to our channel Stox 101 for regular stock market updates. As the protest day comes closer, holders are increasing the pressure for authorities, and as a result, the entire social media is being flooded with posts spreading awareness about this fraud. The main issue surrounds synthetic shares, which basically translates to fake shares made solely for manipulation. These synthetic shares messed up the balance of the total outstanding shares, which allowed the shorts to get an easy exit, and investors want agencies and authorities to investigate this as it's a clear sign of manipulation. In our opinion, many exchanges and market makers are the center of this, and it needs proper investigation. With all that in mind, let's analyze the charts. So as you guys can see right here now in the 1-day chart for MMAT, and as always, we'll first analyze the 1-day chart, then the 1-hour chart, and to end it off, we'll get to the 5-minute chart. Now, right off the bat, we'll first talk about MMTLP as we always do. For today, we're going to talk about the protest and, of course, the synthetic shorts. First up, the protest, you all know that it's on 3rd January in Washington, and it will start right in front of the SEC office, if I'm not wrong, right? But at the same time, there's a little problem. I personally see that not a lot of people are posting about the protest on Twitter, so I believe that more posts should start coming out about that, and that will definitely help increase the amount of people that will attend it. And then, of course, we can probably attract some media attention. And at the same time, for those of you who have blogs and stuff, I believe that more people should write about the entire MMTLP issue, right? There are a few summaries out there on Twitter, and you can simply, use those as a reference for your blog posts or YouTube videos or anything like that, right? And we need to kind of get this conversation to not stop, right? At the same time, I personally think that this is going in the right direction because again, we are trending on Twitter, right? The stock ticker, it was trending on Twitter, on Reddit, all of those places. And I personally think that we need to get more tweets pumping, right? Sure, MMTLP is trending, yeah, with I guess 10,000 tweets or something like that. We need to make that 50,000 tweets, right? We need to keep that going, of course, as the protest comes near. And in my opinion, we did get a bad year as of for 2022, but I hope this will turn out well in 2023, right? I hope the new year will be better for all of you and me included. And I believe that we will get justice as well as fairer markets in 2023, right? So for that, of course, we'll have to address synthetic shorts, and what that basically means is that a short position which is which was never practically meant to be there, right? It's technically a fake short position, right? What happens is that there's a fake counterfeit share made to be in to be there, right? So that share is then sold by the short seller, and of course then the entire balance goes out of proportion, right? So the entire float is, let's say, 100 million shares, and the shorted shares are 120, so the rest 20 million shares, well, even more than that, because of course, if there's only 100 million shares, it's not possible that the entire 100 million shares will be shorted, right? There will be holders, right? That's pretty um, genetic, and that's pretty like common knowledge. So I personally think that it should sum this, this should sum it up for you. Synthetic shorts are basically positions, or rather, basically a way of manipulating the market to short shares. And even when they run out of shares, they can keep creating more synthetic shorts and, just continue selling the shares. That is exactly what happened with MMTLP. And that is why, we do have a lot of evidence and proof as to how the market was manipulated by the market makers, and of course, as people say, FINRA, right? So we need to probably come up with a better plan to address this on a professional, on a on an influential platform. Of course, we did get a lot of influence already in the market, but at the same time, it's not enough, right? 10,000 tweets is not enough. 10,000 people watching, 50,000 people watching, not enough. We need at least a few million people watching this situation, and that is when we'll actually get hopes for justice, because we've all seen what happened to AMC and GME, right? They were much bigger than MMTLP in terms of audience, right? In terms of the people watching, but still, well, they couldn't really do anything about it. So, in my opinion, the only thing that will matter right now is attention. But then again, coming back to MMAT, because well, that's all we had to talk about MMTLP today. We can see that we did make a low around this point at 98 cents pretty much. We did make a double bottom, but after that we took a recovery, right? The entire market pretty much dipped around here, around these days, around 27th and 28th December. And after that, the entire market took a recovery, and MMAT took a recovery along with the rest of the market. Now, if you ask me what's going to happen, well, of course, we do have some good news for MMAT, which is a good collaboration coming up at the event on, 7th, what do you call it, 7th January, right? So the CES event, as you guys can see right here, CES, right? That's the event that's going to be held in Las Vegas, and MMAT has shared a picture of its, what do you call it, its stall, its booth over there. So you can go check that out, on Twitter. And apart from that, in my opinion, MMAT definitely, as I already told you guys in my previous few videos about some pharma companies, that pharma and technology, these two companies, or rather these two industries, function on a similar method, right? Not in terms of corporate functions, but in terms of stock prices, definitely, because as you guys already know that pharma companies and tech companies both rely a lot on hitting the perfect spot, right? If a pharma company gets a good product, that solves a big, big problem, they will definitely sell a lot of it. At the same time, same thing goes for tech. If they get a good product, sells a lot, they will make it big, right? And that is why I personally think that MMAT will always have potential for being a big company. We are currently at a market cap of $430 million. I can see this being $2 billion, $4 billion, right? It is possible once they hit that sweet spot. But when will that be? Well, time will tell. We can't really comment about that. But I personally think that, if 2023 turns out to be that year, most of you will probably make back some of your MMTLP losses. And that, of course, will be a good thing. And with that being said, we'll jump on into the 1 hour chart. And now that we're in the 1 hour chart, we can see that right off the bat, we did build somewhat of a bullish trend from over here, right? We did get supported at a 1.06 and we're getting resisted at a 1.18, 1.2 pretty much, right around that range. So we're kind of squeezing into this range pretty much. And in my opinion, we will get a small gap down on Tuesday, which might lead to a big bull run. I personally am expecting good volumes on Tuesday, but then again, we'll have to see what happens, right? We also have the protest on Tuesday, so that will definitely attract a lot of attention towards MMTLP, and that might attract some buying attention towards MMAT as well. So what is my price prediction? Where do I see MMAT in like a month? I personally think that it will be at a better price than it is right now, because I think that the market conditions will likely improve going into 2023. Even though, a lot of large financial institutions said that 2023 will mark a bad year financially, I personally think that MMAT might get into 1.4, $1.5 ranges around January end in 2023. So that might be a good thing, if it happens, of course. And with that being said, there is nothing much left to analyze in the 1 hour chart. So we'll jump onto the most important chart, which of course is 5 minutes. And now that we're in the 5 minute chart, let me quickly draw out a situation as to what I believe is going to happen on Tuesday, right? First up, we'll have to analyze, or rather not analyze, but figure out the basic support and resistance levels. So 1.2 and 1.16 should be those levels, right? 1.16 is a good support. So in my opinion, as long as we get a gap down, which is not lower than 1.16 and not higher than 1.17, so probably either 1.17 or 1.16 or somewhere in between there, right around 1.165, that should be a good gap down, and that will allow us to get a bounce around 1.16 and then go up. We will of course get resisted at 1.18, 1.19, 1.2, 1.22, 1.24, 1.25, 1.26, 1.28, and 1.3. But in my opinion, we will likely cross $1.2 on Tuesday, and that, we should probably set from opening around 1.17 going towards 1.25, 1.24, 1.23. We should set around a 5% gain on Tuesday's trading session. But then again, I could be wrong, so remember that this most definitely is not financial advice, and you should always do your own research before you trade. If however you enjoyed my analysis, be sure to hit the like button. If you did not enjoy it, sure, you might have hit the dislike button. You can subscribe to our channel Stox 101 for more such videos, and as always, I will see you guys in the next one.